Marine Rex to Helsreach, Part 11, by Richard Boylan. As always, I'm going to be leaving a link to the original video and channel down in the description below, so go ahead and make sure that you check them out. Now, once again, I'm going to be saying this for a little while. As far as the Helsreach videos go, and sometimes the lore videos as well, at some points, there's also going to be moments where some parts of it are going to be muted, or some parts might even have to be cut out altogether. This is mainly due to copyright claims from the music being used. Luckily, it does happen most of the time when it's only music going on, and not really when there's a whole lot of talking. But it does draw away from the atmosphere and the ambiance of the actual story, so I do apologize for that. Also, real quick, if you hear any background noise, just know that my neighbors, I feel like they're all working in a ploy to make the most amount of sound when I actually start recording. And I've tried recording at different hours throughout the day, and every time as soon as I start that record button, all of a sudden everybody starts making a bunch of noise. So again, apologize for that if that does happen. And the little staticky hearing that comes out every now and then, it still is happening, but not as often. I did a couple little test runs. I think it's the mic itself. I might have to get a new one here pretty soon. Alright, so just a quick recap with part 10. We saw in the beginning that Andre, and I don't remember the other guard's name. It was a female though, and they're blowing up tanks of the orcs, and they saw one really big one, which I later found out was going to be the Orc Titan, or like their version of it. And I have heard that in the actual audiobook, Andre plays a lot more of a role in it. And honestly, just from hearing him and just kind of like his demeanor, he sounds like the type of a guy you want with you, at least for like, some people have stated it as well, for like comic relief, or just like take your mind off of the things that are currently going on, like say through like hardships and whatnot. And we saw that there was a lot of friction between Grimaldus and Princess Majoris, especially when they ended up saying, or when the Princess was saying your emperor, and he says, and then Grimaldus responds back, our emperor. And I saw in the comments that there's actually a lot of infighting, or a lot of internal friction between them, because the Adeptus Mechanicus is actually considered higher than even them, mainly because they make all the technology, weapons, armor, etc., and have a whole planet dedicated to that. And we also saw that when Grimaldus, it looked like he was about to give another speech, and obviously shit went crazy. They broke down the wall, and we saw that Bastillon, I believe his name was holding on to the actual banner, and it was supposed to be, I mean, I understood the symbolic and the symbolism of it. And I thought about, like, why don't they just attach to the back? Some mentioned that they do, some chapters do that, but I believe they said in one of the oaths that the Black Templars take is that the one who carries it has to carry it in the hand. And also, before I forget, with the Tech Marine, people have also mentioned that those type of Marines go directly to the Adeptus Mechanicus to learn, I guess, about like the technology and all that, and then they actually end up having a bit of a faith in their mechanical god, if I'm remembering that correctly. So that was kind of why I also found it weird that when he was talking to Grimaldus, there was like, wasn't stuttering between them, but there was quite a bit of pausing, and Grimaldus had to continuously say, "Can you do it?" or "Can it be done?" Something along those lines. And somebody mentioned it very perfectly. We're saying the Tech Marine kind of had a personal internal conflict where he's like, does he go with the religion of the Adeptus Mechanicus, but he's also really loyal to the chapter, and he just had like that internal struggle. So I thought that was really cool, and honestly something that I didn't even notice when it was actually happening. But that's enough of me talking. I know people are probably saying like, man, he's already smacked his lips quite a few times. It's involuntary. But let's go ahead and get started in the actual video. But before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe. It does help me a lot. Hit that notification bar right there. That way you get notified every time I do upload. Sometimes I'm uploading twice a day. Now working on them whenever I can, and then releasing them early the next day. That way when you all wake up, you have fresh in video first thing in the morning. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what Helsreach Part 11 has in store for us.
Request for reinforcement is acknowledged.
They're coming.
Oh my god, dude, I can't even. Oh, the animation on this, man, it gets so much better. And honestly, I was gonna comment that a lot of them are shooting from the hip, but I know that the amount of people they have, they're shooting, and it's gonna hit something eventually. But in any case, not too much on that. Just this animation.
You said that half an hour ago.
I know, but they're coming. Reinforcements are en route. You said that half an hour ago.
Also, when he said that reinforcements are en route, that's something at least in today's world, and still I know I'm still trying to connect it back to today's world as much as I can to an extent. When you get so they're kind of in a defense right now, and as far as them relaying that information, you would relay it depending on where you're at to both sides of the actual line, so that it gets repeated all the way down, just so everyone's kind of on the same page. And obviously, not everyone's going to have a radio, so that way you pass it verbally.
The bastards are rolling harder up the road. Did I hear you shouting about reinforcements again? They're coming. Throne white is everyone whining about that. Your request for reinforcement is acknowledged.
I know this just due to the animation, I didn't see a radio on him, unless he has it inside his ear. Bro. Oh my god. And the fact that they just do it nonchalantly. Just, dude, bro, this is the thumbnail right there. Just this scene. And they have jump packs. So, obviously, tactic-wise, that's shock and awe. I'm pretty sure I haven't mentioned this, but what is that thing she keeps having visions of? Is that supposed to be like reminiscent of the god? Something dealing with the prayers? Not really too sure. But they did make her a lot more detailed. Like, you can actually really get like a good glimpse of what she looks like now.
Storm Herald has taken her.
She still lives.
She's gone from us, Reclusiac. The shame of it all. The
Storm Herald.
rage of defeat. We all felt the Titan rush into her. Her soul is buried as surely as her body would be in a grave. This is how princeps die.
That is unacceptable.
It is the truth.
Then the truth is unacceptable.
didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But obviously, as far as the Titans go, that's something I probably am gonna have to look at more depthly in. I know Luton has a video on them, and I think it's also dealing with how they die. Somebody mentioned it in the comments before. That's definitely something I'm gonna have to look at to try to get a better understanding of how exactly this whole process works.
Rogal Dawn and Horus were close before the Great Heresy. It has always been told among the Black Templars that when the two brothers crusaded together, they were said to have made an oath in blood. Until the end, they would say. Zaha, you swore to me that you would walk.
You're right, Grimaldus. I did swear I would walk.
Stand.
Void shields active, my princeps.
Make ready the hunt.
Plasma reactor reports all systems at viable integrity, my princeps.
Then we move. I heard you as I was dying. I heard you calling me.
Yes, I called you back to this war.
Until the end, then.
Until the end, Zaha.
And he's definitely, especially from what we saw and some of the earlier episodes, really showing the leadership aspect, or at the very least, showing how to build a fire to make someone like come back up. Because I was under the impression that she was dead. At least the way the Mechanicus dude right next to her made it seem. Until the end, though, pretty powerful, especially in a moment like this.
We are dying.
Month, like literally just straight fighting, and it really shows the amount of numbers those orcs have. And I believe I just saw Tech Marine back there, and it's obviously been more than those 9-11 days. I believe it was good to unlock Oberon. So I wonder if he managed to get it open. I don't know. I would assume so though, because a month, that's like 3 times the amount of time that he originally needed. But then again, he did mention that it was kind of consistently evolving.
Kador. Ambush along enemy-controlled portions of Hell's Highway. Gene seed recovered. The 36th day. 36 days of grueling siege. Almost half of Helsreach gone. Lost to smoke and flame in bitter, galling defeat. Brother, now is not the time to grieve. It is done. It is strange. I do not wish to leave him. That is not Kador. Kador is gone. You are leaving nothing behind. You are heartless, brother. Even for one who wears the black, that is a cold thing to say. I loved him, as one can love any warrior that fights by your side for 200 years, boy. I will miss Kador for the few days that remain to me, before this war kills me as well. But no, I do not grieve. There is nothing to grieve over when a life has been led in service to the throne.
Okay, so two things real quick. One of them, what is the, I guess, would it be considered etiquette as far as like when you have someone die? I mean, obviously in a type of environment. I mean, because obviously Space Marines, for the most part, are always going to be in some form of battle or going to a battle. And that when they do die, I wonder what the ceremony is besides just taking the gene seed back. Do they do something as far as burying them? Do they burn the body? I don't know what exactly they would do. I'd be very curious to find out, though. And as far as the part where he says, this is no time to grieve, and then he talks about like his experience with them, fighting with them for 200 years. I mean, honestly, I'm fortunate enough. I didn't, obviously, because me and my peers hadn't seen combat. Nobody got lost or nobody died. But I mean, honestly, for the people who have seen it and have lost very close friends, people that they consider brothers, I couldn't even begin really to imagine what they would feel. I mean, I could try to understand, but it's honestly something, since I haven't gone through it, I would never be able to fully understand. And obviously at this point, since they're still at war, I guess Grimaldi's right now is just trying to keep everybody up. And yes, it's horrible that they died, but that they still have a mission to do. So, you know, tough times, and then just kind of continuing to push forward.
I see. We will speak of this again. Now mount up, brothers.
Alright, so apparently they don't really do anything with the body besides take the gene seed back. I mean, it definitely seems harsh, but you gotta remember that these are the Black Templars. Or at the very least, I have to remember that these are the Black Templars and that there's still a current battle going on. I don't know if the situation would be different, say if the battle had ended already. Maybe they would take a little bit more time, you know, kind of talk about them a little bit, like give like a eulogy, but I don't know, man. Definitely the future is a lot different than today's world.
His death. Does it trouble you? I do not wish to speak of this, Primus. He did not die well. I said I have no desire to speak of this, brother. Leave me be. Why, I only say this because if I were as close to him as you were, it would have grieved me also. He died badly. An ugly, ugly death. He killed.
I don't know if he's supposed to be the comic relief dude, but it's like, come on, man. It literally just happened. Then again, like Templar's future. And honestly, right now, Barcelona, him, he's seeming the most human at this point. Him and Grimaldus. And I understand that this guy is just, he was the one that's supposed to be the Blade Master. And technically, he almost died because he had gotten that little knife thing stuck in him, if I remember correctly, from that orc. And I feel like there's going to be a fight maybe breaking out right here, right now.
Several before he fell. He did, but his death wound was in the back. That would shame me beyond measure. Priamus, leave me alone. Helsreach will fall tonight, Bastilan says, giving voice to something we must all be thinking.
Shit, have I been saying the wrong person? Because it said Bastilin, I mean, and it referred to the dude with the pointy mask. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna just say Tech Marine for him, and Grimaldus and Primus, and then the other one is the one with the who someone said in the comments had a blown off jaw. Oh god, my memory.
Not tonight. Do not lie to me, Grimaldus. Save your words for the others, brother. Make ready to jump. Nero, do you stand ready? What? I need you, Nero. Our brothers need you. Do not lecture me, Reclusiac.
Okay, definitely was calling him wrong the whole time, and I feel like people are going to see the beginning part and see me calling him Bastilin, and they're just going to be like, that's not his name, and I'm going to be like, I know, I know now. Okay. Alright. Remember, Tech Marine, that's just what I'm going to call him, or reference him as.
Stand ready. Kador is dead. Grief has its place. But if you are lost in sorrow, I said I stand ready. Why do you single me out like this? Priamus is likely to see us all dead because he cannot follow orders. Bastilan and Arterion are not half the fighters Kador was. Yet you lecture me about being the weak one, the crack in the blade. Bitterness is taking root within you, brother. When I tell you to focus and stand with your brothers, you respond with black words and treacherous thoughts. So I tell you again one last time, that we need you, and you need us.
Yo, okay. I mean, obviously he's more than willing to take, or at least, I mean, honestly at this point I don't even know if he would have pulled it or not. But I mean, obviously that wouldn't happen in today's world, or in today's military. I mean, it would happen. I mean, if someone did do that, obviously there'd be a lot of issues that go on with that. And honestly, that's kind of. I realized when he was talking back to Grimaldus that he was going to get some kind of reparation, or not reparation, reprimand. I didn't know it was going to be that, but I mean, obviously he does seem troubled now. Lost someone that was pretty close to him. So I wonder if that doesn't actually play on later on in the story as far as maybe getting himself killed, maybe getting someone else killed. Don't know.
Yes, Reclusiac. My brothers, forgive me. My humors are unbalanced, and my mind has been adrift. A mind without purpose will walk in dark places. It is fine, Nero. I miss him just as you do. I forgive you, Nereva.
Incoming missiles! Too close to evade! Shoot now, or die with me!
Brace! Sir? Yes? Emergency signal from the Serpentine in orbit. She requests immediate cessation of all anti-air weaponry in the docks district. Reinforcements.
Go ahead and talk about that for a minute. Two things that I really want to hit on. So the part when he took the pilot out, right? Now that was something that I kind of thought he was just going to be like, hey, you know that you're serving the Emperor by helping transport us, for example, and you know, if you die, it's going to be it. But the fact that he actually, I didn't even know he was connected to the seat, and then he rips him out that and then takes it off. Goes down. Not to mention, really hoping that part with the music does not get copyright claim, just because that is such an intense part right there. And he jumps down, superhero landing, and then they say that they saw that. So at the very least, you can say for a fact that Grimaldus does really care about the Space Marines that are under his command. Now, I just thought that was really big, defining moment. All right, and second, I really wanted to point out that last little part. When I heard the reinforcements, right, I was thinking, okay, I wonder what kind of regiment they're gonna bring into this. And then I saw this little capsules, and I'm like, why does those look familiar? And I believe they were in the prologue as well, in the very, very beginning. And you saw Black Templars come out of that. So I'm like, oh, cool. You got a shitload more Black Templars about to fuck things up. And then I saw this symbol. So correct me if I'm wrong. That looked like the fire drake, or like the dragon symbol. And if I remember correctly, those were the salamanders. Now, hopefully I'm not confusing them with the Dark Angels this time. But salamanders, if this is true, things are going to get a little juicier, because now you're going to get Black Templars, which typically, from my experience, they are more about just serving the Emperor, doing what's got to be done. But the salamanders also, to a certain extent, actually really care about the people and like try to do their best to save regular human lives. So I'm pretty sure there might be a little bit of conflict between them as well, but I don't know. I mean, kind of one of those things that just have to see if it happens. It happens. And also, if you made it this far, I've realized I'm gonna start adding little, I guess if you want to call it like an end of the video after the credit type deal, as far as say what they do with the Avengers, right? Where they like add like a little sneak bit of information. I figured I might do like a little version of it. So if those of you who have been watching all the way to the end, just know that I'm going to be not only recording the anti-memetics memes SCP today as well, to release it tomorrow morning, so I don't have to worry about that video. I'm also going to be playing Space Marine more today, and then because I finally got some time, caught up with all my schoolwork, not procrastinating this term at all. Otherwise, gonna have happen the same thing like the last term, where I'm doing everything at the end. And then yeah, but just know that a Space Marine gameplay is gonna be coming out. It might be a little longer than usual. It just kind of depends on how it goes. So that is either gonna be coming out tomorrow with the SCP video, or sometime during the weekend, maybe Sunday. Yeah, because today is Friday. So I'm gonna add these little things just so you guys kind of can hear it in this type of format, and I'm not bombarding your feed with just posts and all that stuff. So that's gonna go ahead and do it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, really does help me a lot. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it. It helps me improve the channel. If you're curious to see what's coming up next, check the description down below. I'm gonna see a list of about 5 videos. Top to bottom is gonna be how I view them. Until then, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.